All right. Who's your next witness?
We have another video deposition, Raquel Pennington. It's a long one, so we could listen to some of it tonight.
All right, let's go ahead and start. Why don't we go ahead and start it today? At least get 30 minutes in, if we could.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right.
And, Your Honor, just for your benefit and the jury's benefit, the questioning starts with Ms. Vasquez on behalf of Mr. Depp, and then I question Ms. Pennington at some point, which will probably be tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I please have you state your name for the record?
Raquel Pennington.
In what city and state do you currently reside?
Los Angeles, California.
You've been deposed before, right?
Yes.
And you were deposed in Ms. Heard's divorce proceeding for Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you been deposed in any other matter?
No.
What was the purpose of the declaration that you submitted during Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's divorce?
The purpose of the thing that I wrote, which I don't know if it was technically called a declaration or whatever it was to write down my account of events as fresh in my memory as possible.
And Ms. Heard asked you to write down your witness account. Is that correct?
I do not remember, actually. I don't know.
Did Mr. Depp ask you to write down anything in support of any legal filings?
I don't remember.
So it's your testimony sitting here today that you don't remember one way or another, whether it was Mr. Depp or Ms. Heard that asked you to write down your witness account during their divorce. Is that correct?
I wrote down my account. That is the memory that I have. I wrote down everything as clearly as I could remember it, as soon as I could.
You provided a witness statement in the UK proceedings. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Do you recall how many witness statements you provided?
Just one.
And you provided this witness statement to the son's attorneys?
I don't know who it got provided to.
Did you testify in the UK trial?
Yes.
And for which party did you testify for at the UK trial?
I believe it was the publication.
And by the publication, you mean the Sun?
Yes.
When was the last time you spoke to Ms. Heard?
Perhaps 6 months ago, maybe more.
What did you and Ms. Heard speak about?
Probably, it was before her baby was born. So we were mostly speaking about her baby at that point.
Did you speak to, when was the last time you spoke to Ms. Whitney Heard?
Around October, November of last year.
And when you say last year, you mean 2021?
Yes.
When did you first meet Ms. Amber Heard?
I believe it was 2003.
When you met Ms. Heard in 2003, you developed a friendship. Is that right?
Yes.
Would you say you were best friends?
We became very close friends.
Your friendship with Ms. Heard, it persisted through her relationship with Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were friends with Ms. Heard through her divorce from Mr. Depp as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Other than when you lived at the Eastern Columbia building, which we'll get to, did you ever live with Ms. Heard?
Yes.
When was this?
Twenty 2017 to 2018. Yeah.
Where did you both live?
We lived on Holly Drive.
Was that a home?
Yes.
And did you pay rent?
No.
Did Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Sitting here today, do you still consider Ms. Heard a friend?
I wouldn't consider her not a friend.
What does that mean?
We don't speak. We are not enemies.
Why don't you speak?
We grew apart.
John, can I please have my question read back?
Yes. Sitting here today, you can't give me one reason why you grew apart from Ms. Heard?
I wanted to spend more time with other people in my life and prioritize other relationships and other relationships.
Over the course of your friendship with Amber Heard, did you ever see her using illicit drugs?
Can you define illicit drugs?
Not prescribed.
Yes.
Did you ever see her use cocaine?
Yes.
How many times?
I don't know.
Countless?
No.
Less than 10?
Yes.
Less than 5?
Yes.
If you remember, when was the first time you ever saw Amber Heard use cocaine?
I don't remember.
Did you ever do cocaine with Ms. Heard, Amber Heard?
Yes.
How often?
Not often.
Was there a point in your relationship with Ms. Amber using more cocaine?
No.
Did you ever see Ms. Amber Heard use cocaine while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
I don't think so, no.
You know what Provigil is?
Yes.
Are you aware that Ms. Amber Heard has taken a drug called Provigil?
Yes.
Do you know when she started taking it?
No.
Do you know whether Amber Heard continued to take Provigil during her relationship with Mr. Depp?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she had stopped taking Provigil?
She never told me that.
Are you familiar with any of the side effects of Provigil?
No.
Did Ms. Hurd ever tell you that she was experiencing any side effects as a result of Provigil?
She never said anything about that.
You testified you saw Ms. Hurd use mushrooms less than 5 times, yes?
Yes.
Each of those 5 times, or less than, was she in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
Did you say each of the 5 times?
Right.
Not each of the 5 times.
How many times that you observed Amber Heard use mushrooms was she in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
Maybe 3.
Do you recall the specific occasions when you saw Amber Heard use mushrooms while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
The first Coachella that we went to, the second Coachella that we went to, and maybe at Hicksville. But I
With
can't
Mr.
be
Depp?
sure of that.
Was Mr. Depp at Hicksville?
Yes.
Around June of 2014, you moved into one of the penthouses in the Eastern Columbia building. Is that correct?
I don't remember which month, but I did move into the penthouses.
Approximately in 2014?
Approximately.
And Ms. Heard at the time was in a relationship with Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes.
And it was Mr. Depp who invited you to live in one of the penthouses, right?
They both did.
And when you say they both did, they both sit you down and invite you to live in the penthouses?
I don't remember how the invitation happened, but it came from both of them.
This was a penthouse Mr. Depp owned, right?
Correct.
And specifically, the one you lived in, it was referred to as Penthouse 1, right?
Correct.
And when you moved in, Mr. Depp gave you a master key to all the penthouses he owned, right?
It could have been one of his assistants.
When you say one of his assistants, you mean one of Mr. Depp's assistants?
Correct.
So either Mr. Depp or one of his assistants gave you a master key to all the penthouses that he owned, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Depp never charged Mr. Drew for rent while he lived at Penthouse 1, did he?
He did not charge him any rent, no.
Did either of you get physical?
No.
And how was this argument resolved?
We talked it out.
You recalled another argument with Ms. Heard at Holly House, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What was this argument about?
I think that we were setting up for Thanksgiving, and we were looking for maybe some glasses or some dishware. We had just moved in, and we couldn't find them anywhere. And then she finally found them in a place that I thought I had looked, and we started arguing about that. She thought that I wasn't looking hard enough, I think, and I told her that I thought that I looked there. Yeah, I think that's what their argument was about.
Was this just a verbal altercation, or did you get physical with each other?
Yeah, I believe that I pushed her.
How did Miss Amber Heard react to that?
She either pushed or hit me back. Yeah.
You know where she hit you?
I think it was on my cheek.
Do you recall any other physical altercations that you've had with Miss Amber Heard?
No.
Do you recall any specific instances when you saw Amber Heard get into a fight with someone else?
No.
In the time you've known Amber Heard, have you ever seen her wear hair extensions?
Yeah. Yes.
Did she have hair extensions in while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
I don't know when exactly she had them throughout the time of knowing her.
I'm going to mark as Pennington Exhibit 1, Ms. Pennington's witness statement in the UK proceeding, which is dated June 16th, 2020. Ms. Pennington, first and foremost, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington, this is a sworn witness statement that you provided in the UK, right?
I understand. I wanted to get to the bottom and make sure that this was the one that I signed and saw the date, and that was the full document. I just finished it. Yes, this is the document.
Did you write this witness statement yourself?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yes.
Thank you. Did anyone help you write this?
No.
Did Amber Heard help you write this?
No.
Did Amber Heard's counsel help you write this?
No.
Other than your attorney, did you speak with anyone about the preparation of this witness statement?
No.
Could please turn to the 10th page of the document where your signature is, or a signature is. Is that your signature on the 10th page of this document, Ms. Pennington?
That is my e-signature, yes.
Are all the statements in this document true to the best of your knowledge and recollection?
Yes.
You previously testified that you went on a trip to Hicksville with Ms. Heard, Mr. Depp, and some other friends. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall when this trip occurred?
Not off the top of my head.
Do you recall who else went on that trip?
Yes.
Who else was on that trip?
Whitney Heard. Nathan, who was one of Johnny's assistants. Brittany Eustace. Kelly Milano.
Anyone else that you can recall?
Trying to remember. No, I don't remember anybody else.
Where were you all staying?
At Hicksville Trailer Park.
Did you personally witness Mr. Depp become, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote, toward a friend of yours?
Yes.
Relative to where Mr. Depp was, where were you when this occurred?
We were around a campfire.
My question is a bit more specific. Relative to where Mr. Depp was when this occurred, where were you sitting or standing?
I was at the same campfire.
How close were you to
In a
Mr.
circle.
Depp?
6 to 10 feet.
What time of day did this occur?
Evening.
Had you consumed any drugs or alcohol at this time?
I think so.
What do you recall consuming at that time?
I don't remember. Likely wine. I don't remember specifically.
Do you smoke any weed?
No.
Did you consume any cocaine?
No.
Had you consumed any mushrooms?
I believe so.
Had you consumed any MDMA?
No.
Who was the friend that you referenced Mr. Depp became, quote, angry and aggressive towards?
Kelly Sue.
How did you know her?
She was married to a work friend of mine.
Do you have any independent recollection of how long you had known Kelly Sue Milano by the time Hicksville occurred?
More than 1 year, less than 2.
What did you witness Kelly Sue Milano doing that evening before Mr. Depp became, quote, angry and aggressive?
I witnessed her hang out with the rest of the group.
Did you see her consume any alcohol?
Not that I remember.
Did you see her smoke any weed?
No.
Consume cocaine?
No.
Did you see her consume any mushrooms?
Maybe 1. Sore. I'm genuinely trying to remember. I saw her eat some amount. I don't know how much.
Did you see her consume any MDMA?
No.
You testified that Mr. Depp said words to the effect of, quote, get off my woman, end quote, to your friend. Is that right?
I testified that.
Did you personally hear Mr. Depp say that?
Yes.
Is this the, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote, conduct by Mr. Depp that you testified to?
Yes.
Other than telling Kelly Sue Milano to, quote, get off his woman, end quote, what did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote?
That was what happened. Then I think Kelly and Amber were hugging on a chair out by the fire. He came out of nowhere, said that, and then I think that Amber and Johnny went back to their trailer.
Other than hearing Mr. Depp say something to the effect of "get off my woman," what did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive?
That's it.
Did you hear Amber say anything to Mr. Depp?
I don't remember her saying anything.
Did you hear Amber Heard raise her voice when speaking to Mr. Depp?
No.
What, if anything, do you remember about Amber's reaction to Mr. Depp's behavior?
She was trying to comfort him.
This evening in Hicksville, did you ever see Amber Heard consume any drugs or alcohol?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see Ms. Heard drink any wine?
Yeah, I don't remember a specific time watching her take a sip of a drink.
Was she holding a drink?
I don't remember.
And this evening in Hicksville, did you see Mr. Depp consume any drugs or alcohol?
I didn't see any specific image in my mind of him consume.
Did you personally witness Mr. Depp, quote, in a rage, end quote, that Ms. Heard described?
Did I personally witness the rage in the trailer?
Yeah.
No.
Did you hear Mr. Depp yelling in the trailer?
No.
Did you hear Ms. Heard yelling in the trailer?
No.
Did you personally see that the trailer was, quote, trashed, as Ms. Heard described?
The next morning?
Yes.
Yes.
What specifically did you see in the trailer?
The thing I remember specifically was the light fixtures had been knocked off.
So you didn't see Mr. Depp knock off the light fixtures in the trailer, is that correct?
I did not see it.
So the only thing you know about what happened in that trailer is what Ms. Heard told you and your observations of the light fixtures being knocked off. Is that correct?
The only thing I know about what happened in the trailer is what she told me and what I saw the next morning.
And the only thing you saw the next morning was that the light fixtures had been knocked off. Is that correct?
That was not the only thing I saw. It is the specific thing I saw.
What else do you recall about the trailer?
It was in a general disarray.
What does that mean?
Was trash. It was torn apart.
What besides the light fixtures were thrown apart?
I've already told you specifically, I remember the light fixtures. The rest is a general disarray.
What is a general disarray to you, Ms. Pennington?
Stuff off the counters, cushions thrown around, things strewn about on the floor.
Did you see Ms. Heard shortly after she returned from Australia?
All right, why don't we just stop
Yes.
right there? So that'd be a good breaking point, I think. Okay, okay. Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break for the evening. Again, do not discuss this case with anybody and don't do any outside research. And we'll see you in the morning at 9 o'clock, all right? Get some sleep, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.